Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything from the 807th Royal Naval Air Squadron, and I'm coming to you with another 807th Flight School for Noobs video. What we're going to be talking about is experience points and research points and resource points, and how to level up your planes, how to level up the crews, and basically where to get started, because I know it can be a little overwhelming. And there's a lot of hidden nuggets that are in there that I kind of need or want to show you. Okay, what we're looking at here is the British tech tree, the British ranks 1 through 5, and the tech tree. And now, British only have aviation, but some nations have, not only do they have aviation, but they also have tanks. Okay, and just depending on, which one you plan to play first or do, what I would recommend doing is just selecting the vehicle that you want to research. And I'm going to focus primarily on aviation, but the same is true for tanks also. There are 3 modes at the bottom. You'll notice arcade battle, realistic battle, and simulator battle. Okay, now when you select one of these, what happens in the background, because you don't really see anything changing on the screen, but what happens is the battle ratings actually change. And I'm going to show you, okay, in arcade battle, this Mustang is a battle rating. Can you see that? Battle rating of 5.0, right? Okay. Where when I go to realistic battle, that same Mustang's battle rating is only 4.0. So depending on your flight mode, your battle rating could change. And the matchmaker uses your battle rating to pair you up with your opponents. It will use a plus or minus 1 battle rating to pair you up. It will also allow a plus or minus 1 rank. Note the ranks on the left-hand side. You got rank 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And we'll talk about that in just a second. Okay, so that's how the battle rating impacts your matches. Now you just select a plane, and then whatever plane, select a nation, select a plane that you want to start with, and then be sure to select a plane that you're going to be researching. So let's say, if, hypothetically, you decide to fly the Fury at start, and then you could always select the Gladiator to be the one you're researching. By selecting it, every time that you gain any resource points, it will go towards the plane you have selected. Okay, now this can be changed at any time, so don't worry about locking it in or anything like that. I mean, like currently I am researching the Sea Fury, but if I said, you know what, I don't want to research the Sea Fury anymore, I want to make sure I get this Wellington, I could switch over to researching the Wellington. Now I'm researching the Wellington, and you don't lose your progress with your Sea Fury. Okay, now note the ranks on the left-hand side. You got rank 1 through 5. A lot of people will call them tiers because that was the old system, tier 1 through 20. But they broke it down into ranks. Each rank loosely corresponds to years of the war, with rank 1 being pre-war, like the Spanish Civil War and things like that. And then rank 5 would be like the very end of the war and beyond, like maybe Korea. When researching, be mindful that each plane gives its full rewards if you are researching a given rank. So look at, let's say I have this Seafire, right? Now, if you notice, it says it's the most effective at researching vehicles rank 3 through 5. It's usually within 1 rank. So let's say I've got the Seafire and I'm flying it, but I'm trying to unlock some tier 1 plane that I haven't unlocked yet, or a tier 2 plane that I haven't unlocked yet. It will actually only give me 50% of my research. Okay, let's say I'm researching a Sea Fury, right? But in a match, I'm flying my Spitfire 2B. Well, it says most effective at researching 1 through 3. And since the Sea Fury is rank 4, it'll only generate 50% of the research bonus. Okay, I mean of the research points. It'll multiply the 20 plus 24% first. As you can see, research bonus points plus 24%. So I'd get 124%, but then it would be halved. So I'd have about 62% of my effort will go toward researching the Sea Fury. And you must purchase 6 craft from each rank before you can progress to the next rank. As you can see, I've purchased 4 out of this rank. I need to purchase 2 more before I can start buying or even researching tier 5. Okay. And as you can see, it'll say 0 of 6, 4 of 6, 3 of 6, or whatever. As you start buying planes, that number will change there. Oh, you do not need to assign it to a crew or even use the plane. You just have to purchase it. Now, as the battle rating of your planes go up and the rank of your planes go up, so do the costs of researching and purchasing. And basically that means you can research these early planes, tier 1 and 2, or I should say rank 1 and 2, super fast. You can probably unlock them all in just a couple of days. But then the tier 3, it might take you a month, and then tier 4, it might take you 6 months or whatever. It's just gradually gets tougher and tougher to research these and unlock them and then have enough silver to purchase them. Now these premium planes are available at any time using Golden Eagles. Now, planes and tanks, they follow a specific sequential path, okay? You can't get this Spitfire until you get this Gladiator. You can't get this Spitfire until you get this Spitfire. And it goes down like that. So you're going to see like bombers in one row. You're going to see attack planes, maybe well, this is attack planes, bombers, and then you might see naval aircraft in one line, carrier based. So that's how that sequence goes. I guess you can't get this boomerang until you get that boomerang. That's crazy. Okay, they're premium. Now, once you research it, like let's say I've researched this plane right here. I wouldn't be able to purchase it because I have to still purchase this plane. Right? Well, actually, yeah, this one. Okay. If I research the Griffin, which is not available to research yet anyway, but if I was research it without having purchased that, then I wouldn't be able to buy it until I purchase that, because you have to purchase the one right before it before you can search it and buy it. Okay, so now you'll notice that on some of these icons, you will see 2 planes. What that's basically saying, like 2 planes there, 1 plane there. What that's saying is if I click on this, you get 1 plane, that's it. But if I click on that, there's a choice of 2 different planes. And it looks like I have to do this one before I can do this one because that little arrow. But a lot of the ones with 2 icons, like this one, it won't let me research this one until I've researched that one. And here's the Griffin, you got to get that one before you can get that one, all the way down. All right. Okay, now after a match, you're going to receive crew points. And resource points, research points, silver lions, and free research points. And all of that is going to be based on how well you did in the match and what rank plane you're flying compared to what rank you're researching. Now, each vehicle has upgrades. Now I'm just gonna take this Hurricane Mark 1 and I'm going to go right here, modifications, and you can add to those. Now okay, no, let's not do that. Let's take one that I know I haven't fully upgraded, like I know the Seafire I haven't fully upgraded. What? That's not what I wanted to do. Modifications. There we go. So now as I play with the Seafire, and only the Seafire, it will generate research points to learn or unlock each of these types of uh, bolt-ons, upgrades. Now you need 2 of them unlocked and purchased before you can move on to the second rank. And there are 4 ranks in every vehicle, and you need 2 to proceed to the next rank. This one says you only need 1, and this one's 2. That's odd. Okay, I thought they were all 2. Maybe because there's only 3. And you got to follow the chain, just like the tech tree. You can't get that until you get that, obviously. So I couldn't like do all this research and then just buy that. I have to make sure I get that before I get that. Okay, now what I would recommend is when you're looking at the, just hover over it and it'll pop up and it'll tell you what the advantages of each one of the bolt-ons, the upgrades, the modifications are, and how much it costs, and how much it would cost to replace if it gets damaged. They all give you a lot of advantages. Each one gives different advantages, so be careful in choosing which ones you want. Now, if you unlock and purchase every modification in one rank, like if I go this one, this one, this one, and this one, that will actually give me a bonus research points towards researching the plane that I'm researching. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about crew skills. Okay, let's go back. Okay, each one of these boxes down here is a crew. Now, these crews can pilot or drive or man the crew of planes or tanks. Okay, it's one crew and it will man either planes or tanks. Now, when you start off with 3 crew slots. To get an additional crew slot, it costs silver lions. I think it's 10,000. And I think the 5th one is 50,000, I think. And then the 6th one, I think, is a low number of gold, like maybe 200 gold. And then like the 7th one is 500 gold. And the 8th one is 800 gold. Okay, so I don't think you need really more than 6 crew slots. I have 7 there, that's odd, but you probably don't ever need more than 6 crew slots. The only time you really need a bunch of crew slots is when you're playing arcade mode. Because when you play arcade mode, you get to fly every one of your planes or tanks that you've got in the lineup. But when you do realistic, all you need is 1 crew. Because you can only fly 1 tank or 1 crew, 1 plane, and you only get 1 life, so there's no respawns. So you really don't need a whole bunch of planes. And when you start getting good at this game, then you tend to not go through more than 2 or 3 planes at a time. There's been matches I've only used 1 plane, and you get a badge called Survivor. So it's just personal preference, whatever you want to do. Okay, now these crew slots, each one, like I said, is a crew. Now let's take this Hurricane, let's look at the crew. Okay, the air crew has 3 skills. It has pilot, or I should say it has 3 categories, because the pilot has his skills, the gunners have their skills, and then your ground service or your mechs on the ground, they have their skills, right? So, and the tanks are just exactly the same way, except they don't have pilot, gunner, ground service. What they have is driver, gunner, loader, leader, and communications officer. Okay, so they have a little bit more crew positions, and they have a lot more skills per crew position. So it takes them a little bit longer to level up. Okay, so you want to take a look at each one of these skills under the pilot, because they each give you what do you call it, different advantages and disadvantages. Okay, now as you level them up, because they all start at 0 or 1, and I think 0 maybe even. Here, let's check the Japanese because I don't have nothing going on the Japanese. Yeah, see, they all start at 0, right? So, and you notice how cheap they are. They're only 1 point. I have 0 points to spend, but they are only 1 point to increase my crew. Now, if I go to British and I look at this hurricane pilot, right, he's at level 17. To get up to 18, it's going to cost me 20 points. Well, I've got 253 points to spend, so I could crank out some points. Now, here's your gunners. I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be a little pro tip for you. For pilots of single-seat planes, okay, you're going to see that the number of gunners that they have available to use, or that they require, are 0. Any points you spend into gunnery will not help you at all any. They will not help you at all because they only apply to AI gunners. So, like a bomber might have a turret gunner or something like that. That skill would be applied to them. When you look at like this Beaufort, right? It says number of gunners 2. Well, number of experienced gunners 2. If that was a 1 because I hadn't upgraded it yet, then I would get minuses on all my skills. And the gunners would basically not be experienced gunners. But now, because I have experienced gunners, and notice how expensive that is. Like the Blenheim. It's got 3 gunners. But the reason why I have 3 gunners on the Blenheim is because that same crew also mans my Wellington. And I'll get into that in just a second. Okay, so let's go back to the Hurricane. So you don't, oh, I'm sorry. Pro tip. To increase your crew level, it takes the total number of levels that you've purchased with either pilot, gunner, or ground service. So even though you've got no gunners, if you spend points on gunnery, I mean, because they're cheap, they're only like 1 per level, or 2 per level, or 3 per level, or 4 per level, you could level up your gunners, which will add to your crew level faster. And the reason why you want to do that is because of qualifications. To be able to get to a certain crew level, like, let's see, we've got, yeah, this crew is already pretty sweet. Okay, so it doesn't say it. Let's go to Japanese. Boom. Here, crew, qualification. There we go. To get out of basic, which is rookie, and go into expert, your crew level required is 100. Okay, and once you go to 100, then you can become an expert. And now it's saying I need to have a 400 to become an ace, right? And it only costs silver lions to become an expert. It doesn't require, it requires golden eagles. Here, let's say this OS2 expert. For him to become an ace, it's only going to cost him 20 gold. Or this hawk for this same crew, because this is all skills for this one crew. It only costs 80 to get his hawk up to ace. But I'm not going to do that. Okay. And that's a topic of another video. Okay, so we're back. We're back to the British. We're back to the crew. And we're talking about qualifications. Okay, so let's talk about qualifications. Kind of already did. And when you become an expert, what it does, it gives you these plus 30s on these areas. Okay, now, even though it gives you a plus on gunnery, it doesn't apply to this crew because it's a single seat plane, so you can just ignore these numbers here. But if you ever took this crew and put them into a multi-crew ship, like a Mosquito, well, I don't know, a Lancaster or something like that, it would have those for its gunners. Okay, remember, the only things you need to worry about are pilot skills when it comes to single seat planes. I can't stress that enough. One last thing, I do kind of want to go over each of the different skills to kind of give you an idea. I know that they're not really kind of, they really don't explain, or maybe they do, and it took me a second to figure it out. Keen vision allows your pilot a range, okay, so he can see farther, up to 2 times, depending on the weather condition. And of course, the sun and the altitude difference affect your keen vision. Okay, so while you're flying around, you might not ever see the enemy before they see you. So you need to up your keen vision so that you can see them first. Now, awareness affects, okay, we'll go back to keen vision. Keen vision only applies in the front arc of your aircraft. The awareness affects how good you are at looking 360 around your aircraft. Even though you as a player might be turning the vision of your game to the rear, it doesn't matter because your pilot skill will determine if you can see anything behind you. Okay? G tolerance. As you fly around, you're going to start to black out or red out, right? Well, that G tolerance will allow you to take more Gs before you black out, okay? But if you're looking for accuracy when you're using mouse aim, like you're trying to get your shots to be more accurate, put more G tolerance in, because during the mouse aim mode, this skill affects how accurate your aircraft is. So it tightens your shot group, basically. Okay, stamina. Accuracy and G tolerance gradually decrease depending on the time you spent in the game, right? The higher your stamina is, the longer you'll be able to retain your accuracy. And vitality is actually the health, it's like hit points for your pilot. So if you, like right there, for a novice pilot, the second 303 bullet hit from a MG-15 or similar, or comparable shrapnel impact, is usually fatal. While a pilot with a maxed out vitality and a measure of luck can survive a hit from a 50 cal and still live. So vitality is like your hit points. Stamina is your endurance, we'll say. G tolerance is your will to be able to hold your aim and to not pass out when you're turning. And then awareness is looking all around you, 360, and keen vision is range directly to your front. Okay, then the gunners, right? If you don't have a number of experienced gunners equal to or greater than the number of gunners required on that airplane, you will get minuses. And the minuses, I think, are like 5%, or maybe it's only 3% or something like that per gunner you're missing. Because like there was this one bomber, I think it's got 8 gunners on it. I think it might be a B-17. So if you only have one experienced gunner, you've got like this huge minus, like minus 30 or 40 or something like that. But as you add gunners, that minus will go down. Okay, fire accuracy. Turrets move faster, they will shoot longer, and they can shoot farther. Precision means the machine guns, they have like how accurate they are. See, accuracy isn't really accuracy. Accuracy is more like range and speed and how long the burst is, where precision is actually how tight that shot group is. And you notice at the bottom, this skill only applies to gunners controlled by AI. Okay, G tolerance. Same thing. Stamina, long periods of time, vitality, hit points. Because you can have gunners that get knocked out, or you might be in a bomber and you make a sharp turn. Well, those gunners are getting slammed around the fuselage or the plane, and they're unable to get on their gun and actually start shooting. So, okay. Now, ground service. Ground service is an overlooked crew section a lot. You want to put some points into this, specifically reload speed. Okay, because in arcade battles, you can actually reload your weapons faster based on your reload speed. Because in arcade battles, you actually reload in midair, which is weird. It's not realistic, but it's fun anyway. It's like more of a game mode. Now, weapon maintenance, what that's used for is when you fire longer bursts, you don't, it won't jam as easy, and because the maintenance crew has cleaned them well and kept the dirt out of them and stuff like that. So basically, weapon maintenance means your weapons are working to peak efficiency and they're not going to jam or overheat. Repair speed, okay, that's important. Like when you land at an airfield, a lot of times, like this one time I landed on an airfield and it told me I had 5 minutes to wait to be repaired. That was insane. Level up your repair speed a little bit, and then now it's only like 20 seconds. So you need to level that up so you can, like if you get your wing shot out, you can land, repair a couple of seconds later, and then fly off and get back into the fight. Okay, repair rank. This actually tells you what rank your mechanic is, and I noticed that you've got to have a rank higher than the rank of plane that he's assigned to, but it doesn't matter if he's rank 1 or 0, he'll still do repairs. It's just a multiplier on how much time it takes. Okay, I hope that helps out. Okay, so, and qualifications. Okay, that Beaufort is an expert. See, repair speed and reload speed both get a bonus for being an expert. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, now the last thing I want to say, and this is a topic of another video, but I'm going to touch on it real quick before I end the video. I know this video has gone kind of long, but there's a lot of information to absorb here. These crew slots, right? Like my British right now have 7 crew slots. If you notice down here, I've got a bunch of presets, and I'm calling them battle rating 2, 2.3, 2.7, 3.7, 4.3, etc. If you look at a brand new nation, I'm going to use Japan as an example, there are no presets, or actually preset 1 is just this lineup right here. All you have to do is press this preset button, and it lets you add a new preset. So let's go to British. Let's go to the presets button. There, I've added all these presets, and I believe you can only have 8 presets. Okay, so let's say I want to, you know, when I've created them, you can rename them, you can rearrange them, like if you'd rather have that preset there instead of there. And then you can apply it. If it's not in your list down here, you can apply, and it'll automatically select that one down here. And you'll notice that I still have 7 crew, because when you buy the crews, or when your crews are consistent with every preset. Okay, now when you assign a plane to a crew, no matter which preset you're using, let's go back to 2. I have this Hurricane 1L here, right? And I go to crew skill, and I could have it on any one of them, it doesn't matter, because it would just use the crew skill of whatever crew slot it's in. But when you go to, what's important is when you go to qualification, I am an expert in the Hurricanes right there. So now when I go to 2.3 and I still have that Hurricane, it will still have all the same crew skills, and it will still have all of the same qualifications. There you go. So don't put make a preset with you know, a plane here and then make a second preset with that same plane in a different slot because you're hurting yourself. So what I did was I came up with a spreadsheet to exactly show me which crews have which planes, just so, because I was starting to get confused. All right, well, thanks for coming out and checking out this video. I hope you learned a little bit about crew skill, crew slots, research, resource points, and the tech tree, and modifications. And if you guys are interested in joining a really cool squadron, check out the 807th Royal Naval Air Squadron. We do a lot of focusing on British, but hell, we play every nation and we have fun. We like to do realistic and arcade battles. So come check us out, and you guys have a great rest of your day.